Greetings, this is Reverend Derek of www.revderek.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, at Rev Derek Terry. I am here in my home office celebrating the 60th anniversary of Rosa Parks' refusal to vacate her seat on the city bus in Montgomery, Alabama, thus really starting the whole civil rights movement, modern civil rights movement of the 1950s and 60s for African Americans. And of course, thrusting Dr. Martin Luther King, a 26-year-old preacher and pastor in the area, to national prominence. I pause today to reflect on not only celebrating what the Montgomery Bus Boycott meant to my people, but to challenge us in 2015. All right? And so last week, someone, a white man, commented on one of my YouTube videos. I was reading from an essay in God Loves Me and So Do I, my new book, revderek.com, and it's also on Kindle and iBooks. And I was reading a passage that I wrote on why black men are so angry and how we were forced to this country in American slavery, forced to build this country, and then weren't offered a seat at the table when it came time to run it. And there have been less than 10 U.S. senators. If you remember from law and government class, the U.S. Senate only get 2 from each state. In the entire history of this country, less than 10 have served as senators. African Americans have served as U.S. senators, and most of them were appointed. Cory Booker, Barack Obama were the last elected that I can recall. And so we have no political power, and we have no political power because we have no economic power, right? And so the Montgomery Bus Boycott was a powerful financial tool that used the collective financial power of the black people of Montgomery, Alabama, as a tool to bring about positive change in the way they were treated on the city buses. And so the city and the bus company had to change their rules and change how they treated black people, because after a year of black people not riding the buses, it was either give them what they want or close or shut down. And so I want to challenge us to do that. And so, like I was saying, somebody posted on my YouTube video, I was reading from my book, and I was talking about some of the disparities of black men versus white men. And he said, but some of the things you bring up about prison and about debt and underemployment and unemployment, that affects white people too. So that's not the issue, right? Wrong. It is the issue, because it affects black men, but it affects white men rather, but it affects black men at disproportionately higher rates, right? And so when we look at underemployment, when we look at unemployment, when we look at being imprisoned and incarcerated, when we look at the issues facing drugs and all these type of things, and high school dropout, graduating from college, there are huge disparities from the numbers of black men and our white counterparts, right? And if that's not enough, the African American buying power in this country is $1.1 trillion. That means if we were a country unto ourselves, we would be tied with Australia for the 19th richest country in the world. What does that mean? We would be in the G20. We would be a force, a global force to reckon with financially in the world economy. $1.1 trillion. But when we look at the wealth of white families versus black families, the average wealth of a white household is $142,000. The average wealth of a black household is $11,000. That's $130,000+ difference. We'd be in the G20, but we have a net worth of averaging only $11,000. We need to take our $1.1 trillion to bring about political change in this country, in our world. We have the tools to do it. Our ancestors showed us 60 years ago. But what is the problem? We put our money in Macy's. We put our money in Nordstrom's. We put our money in all those gadgets and Apple and all these things to make us appear and seem that we have it going on. We put our money in our hair. I mean, not me, of course, but we put our money in all of these frivolous things and all these depreciating assets, and we don't focus on building wealth. We're not saving. We're not investing in the stock market enough. We're not investing for our retirement or for our children's education. And so what happens is white families, households have $142,000 net worth. Blacks have $11,000. We buy red bottoms. We buy Louis Vuitton bags. We buy Burberry. We buy all these expensive things and expensive cars to look and appear that we have it going on. But we have no political power. And what does it mean to have no political power? It means that legislation is unfair. It means that people like George Zimmerman can get off, right? It means that we have to march and protest and demand that an officer who shoots an unarmed white high school student is tried, right? Because we don't have the political power to bring about changes in the legislation so that we don't have to march and we don't have to protest. And the only way that you get political power is through economic power. And the only way that you get economic power is by building wealth. By purposely deciding I'm not going to spend $250, $300 on a pair of shoes and throw away my future or my child's future. We have to build wealth. We've seen it done. When our ancestors said, we will not put our money into places that do not support us. We will start our own. We will build our own. And what do? We can't wait to give our money to Michael Kors. We can't wait to give our money so that we can have the latest and the greatest and people can tell us how good we look and how sharp we are. We got to do better. We have to do better. We have to save for our future. Sometimes the only time that people save is when they're saving to buy the bag, to buy the luggage, to buy the this or the that. But what about saving for ourselves so that our children and our children's children and our children's children's children will inherit a place that values their somebodyness and their personhood? We owe it to our ancestors, and we owe it to those who will come behind us. And so on the 60th anniversary of Rosa Parks saying, nope, not getting up. How about us saying, nope, I'm not going to succumb to the pressure to take my $1.1 trillion and throw it away into bags, and cars, and gadgets, and hair. Because there's some stuff that we need to do. Anyway, Rev Derek, that's me. RevDerek.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, at Rev Derek Terry. Of course, you can pick up my books, iTunes. So in Kindle, it's on my website. You can get an autographed copy. RevDerek.com with the coupon code SAVE50, SAVE, then the number 50. You can save 50%. Makes it only $10. Pick it up. Please, please, please. Love you. God bless you. Peace.